This video was made possible by the EA Game Changers program. Hi everyone, it's Chrissie and welcome back to another speed build and welcome back to another Cottage Living early access video. So today we're going to be building another cottage, surprise surprise. But yeah, we're going to be building a cottage for a smaller family. So both the other builds that I've done already have both basically just been for either a single sim or like a couple or something. But this one is actually for a single dad family. That's actually who I built it for in my head. And I actually ended up liking the family that I had in mind and the build so much that I honestly think I'm going to put it in my save file. If I can access these builds again, I'm definitely going to try and put it in my save file. But yeah, so I did build this for a specific family. I built it for the Bowen family, for Royce and his little daughter Lily. And I will have a picture up on the screen of the family that I created because yeah, I did create them as well using a bunch of the new pack assets. So yeah, I was having so much fun with this build, you guys. I think this was the second build that I did with the pack, and I was still kind of getting used to all of the items, but I wanted to do something a little bit more family oriented and a little bit bigger than the first build that I did, which was the cottagecore farm that you will have already seen. But yeah, so something that I do just want to point out again in this video is that I keep saying I am, because I'm watching it, obviously, I'm watching the footage back, but basically when I was recording this, I was playing on a special pre-release version of the game, so it's not the final software and everything in it is subject to change if needed. So yeah, that's just something that I wanted to mention. And then also because it is a pre-release version of it, or like a beta kind of access of the pack, that's also why my name, my gallery ID is going to be floating around the screen, and it's kind of annoying when you're doing speed builds because, obviously I have to speed up the footage, so it's hopping around a little bit faster than it was when I was like recording the video. But yeah, that's actually something that's just in the game. I was literally seeing it whilst I was playing with the pack, so it was literally like built into this version of the game that I was playing on. So yeah, there's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. But yeah, you will have seen it already in all of my other early access videos, and you will continue to see it in all of the other videos that I have going up until the pack releases. So yeah, I have a bunch of other videos going up as well. But back to this build before I get too off topic. So like I was saying, this is for a single dad family, or at least that's who I built it for. Obviously you can have whatever sims live here that you wanted to. I just kind of decorated it for these specific sims when I was building. But basically it's just a simple little 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom cottage with a little kitchen and a little dining room, like living room area as well, and then a really big yard space. So this is built on a 40 by 30 lot in the Bramblewood area of the world. And if you don't know which area I'm talking about, I did do a world overview that I will leave linked on the screen, where I went over all of the different areas of the world, their backstories, all of that stuff. So yeah, definitely go ahead and check that out if you haven't seen it. But yeah, this is built in the Bramblewood area, which is the more like foresty, woodsy kind of area. So I did try and use a bunch of trees and landscaping on this lot, and I tried to make it blend into the surroundings as best as I could, while still making it look like it's a rather old cottage, because I did have an idea in my head when I was building this. I tried to make it look like it was an old house that they bought and they maybe like renovated it themselves. So in my head, Royce and his late wife actually bought this as their first house, right after they got married, and they renovated it themselves. They did it on basically they did it on a budget, and they obviously didn't have a lot of money. I think Royce might have been, I don't know, maybe they were always like into farming or gardening or like whatever, and that's just how they made their money. But basically they renovated this on a budget, so they did what they could with it. So there's still a lot of the old original stonework on the outside. Maybe they've just restored the thatch roofing a little bit, but they didn't completely redo it. And then the interior, maybe they still have like all of the old wallpapers on the interior, but in my head, I think they like painted the baseboards of the wallpaper. They painted the window frames and, you know, stuff like that to make it look a little bit more like homey and inviting and just colorful and friendly, if that makes sense. So you will see that I did use a like swatch of the window that actually has a blue window frame. So yeah, I did end up using that. And then also for the baseboards on the wallpapers in both like the living room, I think the hallway and the master bedroom, I think the wood on the wallpaper is actually also that pale blue kind of color. So in my head, you know, Royce's wife probably painted that, or maybe she and their daughter painted it. So in my head, obviously his wife is no longer with them, so he is raising his daughter on their own. And in my head, they might be struggling a little bit, you know, money-wise. But Royce really doesn't want to sell the farm because this is where their daughter was born. Both he and his daughter have like very fond memories of his wife on this lot and, you know, just their life together. So he really doesn't want to sell it. But yeah, in my head, both he and his daughter are very like introverted people. They don't really like going into town and mingling with people and being around a bunch of people. They just like being, you know, by themselves, you know, together, spending time together with, you know, their animals and on the farm and outside. They're both very outdoorsy in my head as well. And yeah, they go on like little fishing trips together and everything like that. So yeah, it was a very cute family, and I actually thought about all of their backstory whilst I was still creating them, and then I built the house around it. And that's what I meant by I really, really like this family, and I'm really hoping that I'm able to like open up my save files again once I get the pack, because I did keep my save files for like all of these builds that I did with the like early access version of the game. And I'm hoping that if I put them in my regular game once I have the pack again, I will be able to access them so that I can A, save this family for my save file as well as their lot, but also so that I can upload this lot and all of the other builds that I've done to the gallery, because obviously I couldn't do that when I had, you know, this early build of the game because we didn't have access to the gallery like at all, or to like the library, so I couldn't save my tray files or anything like that. So basically all we could do was like keep our saves and then hope that we would be able to access them again once we got our hands on the pack again. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea that I had in mind for this like little family. And even though this build is only base game and the new Cottage Living pack, I honestly don't feel like I was missing anything when I was building this. I might have liked to include a couple more of the like seasons activities, so like maybe a swing set, or, you know, patchy for like the garden, because they do have a lot of gardening plots on this lot. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't really feeling super restricted when I was building this, which is, you know, coming from someone who usually has a very hard time building without all of the packs. I actually really didn't find it very difficult to build with just the base game and Cottage Living, like at all. I mean, I did like 8 or 9 different builds, and honestly I do feel like they're all obviously kind of in the same style, you know, obviously because they're using a lot of the same items, but they're all still unique and they all still look a little bit different from each other, even like 9 builds later. So yeah, I'm really enjoying all of the build buy items with this pack. Now obviously there are a few things that I will always complain about when it comes to build buy in a new pack. Mainly the color swatches, mainly the lack of like not regular swatches, but take the wallpapers for example. They're all very beautiful. I love all of the patterns on them. But I would have loved to have seen a plain version of all of the wallpapers, or like all of the wallpaper colors, or like all of the wood swatches. So like a plain blue, like with the baseboard, so like a plain blue baseboard, a plain, you know, all of the other wood swatches, and then just have plain wallpaper, so like a plain green or a plain yellow, or, you know, something like that with the fancy baseboard on it. If that makes sense, not with all of the like super bright and vibrant patterns. But I mean, that's just a Sims thing at this point, I guess. We always either get a bunch of just like very over the top patterns and colors, or we get a bunch of plain colors with no patterns or anything like that. And there never seems to be a wow, I just choked on my like own, I don't even know what. But anyway, moving on from that, basically what I was saying is that we always get either super vibrant colors or super plain colors, and there's never like a nice in between of getting just like usable colors. I mean, obviously I am using a lot of the bright wallpapers because, you know, I wanted to use them and they were new, but you know, they're not very versatile is what I'm trying to get at, I guess. You know, whenever we get something that's like themed for a certain style, you know, like these items are all like cottagecore themed, there's never a nice middle ground of it still being themed but also versatile. And that's something that I'm really hoping they work on in the future. Even if they, like I said, just give us a few like plain swatches of a, you know, certain style. Just give us a few plain swatches just still in that style. So yeah, that's basically my biggest like complaint with build mode, is the lack of just like normal swatches, not super patterned swatches. I mean, all of the colors are really nice, and they did include a plain black and a plain white with most of the actual items, but this is more so just with like wallpapers and stuff like that. I really wish they would have given us a plain swatch. But moving on from that rant, we've moved back to the exterior. So I did jump around from the interior to the exterior quite a lot in this build. I don't know why. Probably because I was doing so much like landscaping and stuff. I didn't want to do it all at one time because it was very like repetitive, because I used a lot of the debug items for landscaping. So I did jump, you know, from the interior to back to doing the exterior, back to doing the interior, back to doing more landscaping, all of that stuff. I did that quite a few times. And also you will notice that my terrain paint has disappeared, and I think I like redid it off camera because I spent so much time on the bloody terrain paint at the beginning, and then it disappeared, and I think it did it with 2 of my other lots as well, and it was driving me insane. It was driving me up the wall, where every time I did the terrain paint and then I exited the game and came back in, and I would like cross my fingers and toes and hope and pray that it wouldn't delete my terrain paint, because I spent so much time terrain painting for all of these lots. I don't know what it was about, you know, these specific builds, or like doing these specific builds, that made me want to terrain paint as much as I did, because I usually I will terrain paint. I'll maybe do like a cute little pathway, and like obviously underneath the landscaping and stuff, I'll do a little bit of terrain painting. But with these builds, I literally went all out. I probably terrain painted over every inch of the lot and tried to make it look as natural and as blended in and everything like that as I could. And then it went and upped and deleted it. It deleted itself like 3 or 4 times, and I was so over it by the time I finished a build. So every time I finished a build, I would obviously take the screenshots and the intro and everything like that immediately, just so that if the terrain paint decided to disappear again, I wouldn't have to worry about it right away. So if I end up being able to access my save files and I want to upload stuff to the gallery that way, and some of the terrain paint has disappeared, obviously I will redo it before I upload it to the gallery. But at least I didn't have to worry about it before I took the screenshots. So yeah, that's something that was really irritating me, and I don't know if that is something that's just, I mean, I've had this bug in the regular game quite a few times before, but I believe they said they patched it out, you know, quite a while ago. So I don't know if this was just one of those like pre-release bugs, or, you know, whether it's a bug that's going to be making a comeback to the actual game. Or like I said, if it was just like a pre-release early access bug. I'm hoping it was, and I'm hoping that if it is a patch, like a patch or a pack bug, that they will have fixed it by the time the pack comes out for like the public on the 22nd of July. So I'm hoping if that's the case that they will have fixed it, or that it will have just been like a one-off, early access thing, so that I don't have to worry about it again. But yeah, so that was very irritating. But yeah, moving back to the interior, we are doing the little like living room, dining room space. It's not a super big house. I mean, I figured they probably didn't spend too much time inside. I mean, yeah, they're both very outdoorsy. They love taking care of their chickens and their llama and their cow, and obviously the garden. I did put in a ton of different gardening plots, a ton of those new gardening plots that we got with the new pack that you can actually grow the like oversized crops in and stuff. I put a ton of them down. I also put down 2 animal sheds, so in my head they would have both a llama and a cow, and then I put down 2 chicken coops that I believe I put, I think 6 chickens in each of them, so they have a buttload of chickens just like wandering around the place. And then I also gave this lot the Simple Living Lot Challenge. Now, there are 2 new lot challenges that are being introduced with this pack, and they're the Simple Living and the Wild Foxes lot challenge. Now, I didn't use the Wild Foxes lot challenge just because I find it to be kind of annoying. When I did do a little bit of gameplay like off camera, and I found it to be kind of irritating having foxes like showing up and trying to steal my chickens and my like eggs and stuff. And when I was just doing my like casual gameplay, it was kind of annoying. But if I'm sure that if I'm playing a like story driven gameplay, or maybe a challenge or something, it will probably make more sense to have that lot trait on if I wanted to make it a little bit more challenging for myself. But when I was just playing, I was playing to just test out a bunch of the different features and stuff, so yeah, I didn't want to make it too difficult. But the Simple Living Lot Challenge is actually one that I really like. And that lot challenge basically means that for your Sims to be able to cook recipes, they will actually need the ingredients that, that recipe requires to be able to cook it. So, for example, if your Sim wanted to make macaroni, or like, not macaroni and cheese, let's say grilled cheese as an example. If they wanted to make grilled cheese, they would actually have to have cheese in their fridge or like in their inventory or something. Or if they wanted to make, I don't know, what's another simple example that I could use? I don't know, like, let's say beef Wellington, for example. That's one of the new recipes that comes with the pack. They would actually have to have red meat in their inventory to be able to cook beef Wellington. And I believe they would actually have to have something else as well, maybe like a herb or something. But it's really cool, and it makes it more like realistic, so your Sims will actually have to go grocery shopping to like get some of the items, and or they will actually have to grow the items themselves if it's something that they can grow, or like like make their own cheese. Making cheese is something you can do on the stove, so to do that your Sims will actually need to have the milk to make the cheese, so they can either buy that or get it from their own cow or something like that. Or like if they want to make like scrambled eggs, they will actually need the eggs, which is something that I really enjoy. That's a little bit of, just realism that I really think the game was lacking, and that's something that does come with the new pack. So yeah, with the pack, not the patch. Yeah, it comes with the pack, the grocery shopping and the Simple Living Lot Challenge. But the Lot Challenge system itself is actually something that's going to be in the base game, where they've taken a few of the other like lot traits that we already have in the game, and they've converted it to be lot challenges. Now, this is a totally different system, and there's no limit on how many lot challenges you can have active at any one point. I think the only other base game one is the Off the Grid lot challenge. So it's basically a way to make gameplay more challenging. All of the lot challenges are things that will make gameplay more challenging. So, like the Off the Grid, the Simple Living, I didn't have access to any of the other packs when I was building this, so I don't know what other lot traits they've converted to be lot challenges with the other packs. That's something that I'm definitely going to have a look at as soon as I like get early access again and have it in my like regular game where I have all of the other packs. But yeah, that's definitely something I'm going to have a look at, because that's a very interesting system that I really enjoy. I kind of do like making my Sims' life a little bit harder sometimes, so yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun to play around with. But yeah, this build is almost done. We're just going to be doing a little bit more detailing outside, obviously just placing a little bit of clutter, a little bit of like, I guess, farming related things around to make it look like it's a little bit more used and actually like, I don't know, not lived in, but functional, I guess, is a good way of describing it. But yeah, there's a ton of debug stuff that I use, like this little water pump thing that I end up putting a bucket on to make it look like, you know, that's where they like pump some water for their crops or stuff. And I'm also using this debug bicycle that we have, and just I don't know, there's something about these builds that I'm absolutely just obsessed with, and I love them so much. I hope you guys are enjoying all of these early access videos. I worked my butt off on all of them, so yeah, I'm really hoping that you enjoy them, because yeah, it was a lot of fun recording this, and I'm so grateful that I was able to be a part of this whole thing, and I was able to get this like super early access for you guys and get all of these videos recorded. Because yeah, it was a lot of fun just exploring the new pack and trying out all of the new different items and stuff, and I honestly can't wait to get it in my like regular game and to see what else I can do when I have all of the other packs. Because yeah, like I said, this was just base game and the new Cottage Living pack. But like I also said, I will try and upload these builds to the gallery once I have them in my game again. So once the pack is out, or once I get early access, I will try and upload these to the gallery so you guys can download them, because they're all just base game and Cottage Living. So if you have the new pack, or if you get the new pack, it will be super easy to download them. But I hope you enjoyed this build. If you did, give the video a like, and if you're new to the channel and you'd like to see some more Sims content, feel free to hit the subscribe button, and remember to turn on the notification bell as well to be notified of whenever I upload a new video. I hope you're all having a great day, and I'll talk to you all in my very next video. Bye everyone!
You got a smile that makes the sun rise. You make it shine. But I can see that you don't realize, and that's what made me fall in love. 'Cause